We don't play the social game. We are social. Power 98.5. You're listening to Power 98.5, powered by United Angels Dream, your #1 resource for public relations, entertainment, and multimedia. Contact them today at unitedangelsdream.com.
Prepare yourself.
Okay, let's go.
Hi, this is Dan Aykroyd. He's progressive. He's beautiful. He's thoughtful. He's intelligent. He's powerful. He's positive. He is Stephen Cuoco on Power 98.5 Satellite Radio.
Empowering listeners from the US to the UK. Live on air with Stephen Cuoco.
We are at the top of the hour, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The golden, young, bright, incredible talent hailing all the way from Toronto, Canada. He is Francesco Yates. Who is he? Well, not only is he world-class top artist with doing incredible things in the industry. I'm going to read specifically that it says here, he is an explorer, a writer, a guy who loves to try to figure everything out, and he's a hopeless romantic. Mr. Francesco Yates.
Right on. Thank you for having me. What's going on?
Well, I've got to ask you first, have you been missing and not getting all of this winter weather that's been happening? Because we got over about 2.5 feet here in the Northeast in the States.
Oh, I'm in Canada, so I get my healthy dose of cold and snow up here. But helps for writing the music and stuff, and I stay inside and I keep busy.
Hot chocolate, or what's your drink of choice?
Hot chocolate. That's funny that you mention it. Hot chocolate has actually become a thing recently that I've indulged more into. It used to be more of a coffee guy, but I'm in favor of the hot chocolate.
Starbucks, or what was your coffee?
I just like to make it. I just like to make mine homemade if I can. But yeah, I mean, Starbucks is coming pretty clutch these days with the hot chocolate. That's for sure.
You don't do the fraps or anything else, do you?
No. We hot chocolate's where we draw the line.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I
haven't advanced that far yet.
Well, then I'm thinking of the sugar content and everything, and my God, I mean, yeah, it wouldn't do too well in my digestive system. I took one sip. I think it was one of those unicorn drinks or something. I was like, oh, hell no. But I think you can get away with it. You seem like you can burn off energy real quick, or at least the sugar.
Hey, I mean, the sugar, how you get so fly, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. You just reminded me of a song. There we go.
There you go.
Bring us up to date for those who may not have heard who you are. You're doing extraordinary things. Your Instagram is off the hook. Loving the vibe. The videos are outstanding. You really have got such an incredible personality. During this time when you as a creative is really able to be much more introverted and to unleash more of the attributes and talents that you have so hidden within yourself. Have you been very impressed by what you've been producing and writing and coming out with right now?
Well, it's amazing what to me, this lockdown brought some creative stuff out of me that I never expected it to. And to me, that's like kind of the silver lining of everything that's going on with regards to it. I've been experimenting with some different sounds, and I've just been, I got to know myself a little bit better as well in the lockdown. Little things that you just, when you're hustling and bustling in the day, you never really take the time to figure out. But yeah, that's what I take away from it.
So, to touch on this point, you wrote, I'm using what I learned from being on the majors and applying it to my company. I put my stamp on it in a different way. It's the first time in my career I'm handling everything. It feels incredible to have ownership. There's a certain power in knowing you're self-sufficient. I'm really standing on my own. How do you feel about that? And what are you doing to teach other people to do the same thing?
Well, I think, once you kind of learn the tricks of the trade, it doesn't seem as intimidating as it used to. And I think now that I'm independent and I'm handling all of my own things, it gives me, a sense of it. It helps me appreciate things even more than just the music, and how things aren't just 100% music. You got to really also be smart about your business. And I think now, given with the internet, it's also very easy to have a successful independent career. Before, you had to, if you wanted to stay independent and not sign the 360 deal, you had to at least go to distribution. But now, DistroKid and United Masters, all of these are, premium distribution services, and they can get your music out there. So it also forces you to look at it a little bit more objectively. You can make this stuff happen if you just have the follow through and the perseverance to stay with it. And it made me learn about, what goes into things, what goes into it. And it takes that's how I see it. It takes the intimidation factor out of it. Maybe, an independent artist isn't, the major label is not his or her only option. So that's kind of how I see it. It gives you the empowering feeling. And that's what you want, because, you created the music is your blood, sweat, and tears that you put into it. Something about having the sense of ownership over that. And when you get the rewards, I feel personally, for me, it's a more full feeling, that's how I see it.
You wrote that lyrics are a lot of personal experiences. And I believe you just, once again, you just touched on that, but to go a little bit deeper, what have you shared with your listeners and your fans and people in the industry in letting them know truly through complete transparency, Francesco, your experiences? What have you touched upon?
Well, I feel like for a lot of times I used to put on a brave face when I was in my major label days. Everything had to be very polished and very perfect. Whereas now I'm kind of pulling back the veil a little bit and showing everybody, what it was like as I, come back from LA to Toronto. And, there were some things that were even greater than my wildest dreams, and some things that were surprising as well. And just I was attempting to peel that back and show people what was behind the gloss of everything. That's kind of what I take from that, and putting my personal experiences in the music, which I didn't get to before. But I'm happy that I can now.
You've recently came into the mix with a new track called Don't Call Me Back. Would you like to share who you partnered with on this track?
Oh yeah, that was for a project that AJ McLean of the Backstreet Boys, him and DJ Lux, or how I know him as, is Brandon Mashburn. He had told me about the project in 2019 when I got off of my opening slot for the Justin Timberlake Man of the Woods tour, which is unbelievable, by the way. I can't even, I sometimes can't even believe I did that. But he was, working on a loop, and we were jamming, working on the song. We were trying to figure out what could go with the bass line on that song. And then I think I just blurted out in all my blunt glory, "Don't call me back." And then it became "Don't Call Me Back." And we sent it over to AJ, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I want to do like a second verse on it." So after that, it was born, and now it's out there and living its life,
I can really, truly picture this being in commercials, Pepsi, Super Bowl, IKEA. Like that song, Don't Call Me Back, is totally a commercial in my head, in my belief, song.
Oh man, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Where would you see this song placed? In a movie, in a show? Like, what comes to your mind?
I just picture an old school, like sort of vintage car, and very California, very summer type of vibes when I see it. As far as like my visuals go, I don't know. That's just what comes to mind. For some reason, an old vintage car and like just driving in LA. That's what I feel.
To bring a little bit of back, this isn't vintage, but you have met Pharrell. You worked with him. I want to play a little clip from your Instagram, but before I play that testimony, that short clip, just months ago, I believe it was April of 2020. Tell us more about that experience working with Pharrell.
Well, with Pharrell, initially, he was. We worked on a whole album where it was Pharrell producing it, and it was going to be the debut EP. I guess there were some complications with labels and stuff like that in his schedule because he's traveling quite a lot. But yeah, that's what it was. He was introduced to. I got introduced to him through a friend of his, and then we just had a little bit of a musical connection. We started making some songs. The first one we made is on the very first EP that I ever did called Change the Channel. And we just kind of connected. We had a ball. He was very into me playing the guitar, and he said to me that I remember a quote from him directly. He's like, "You don't got to worry about anything, man." And this is his voice. He's like, "You don't got to worry about anything. You just got to chew the guitar, play bubblegum, and not look at the crowd when you sing." And I was like, "Oh, you have a very specific vision of what you want me to do." But yeah, I remember that quote specifically. Just play the guitar and chew bubblegum, and you'll be okay. That was one of Pharrell's words of wisdom to me.
Have you been in contact with him since? Any plans for future projects?
Well, he switches his number quite a lot, but my manager is the same as Justin Timberlake's manager. And I think once it all clears up, I think we could make that connection again. He was traveling quite a lot and he had to change his number and stuff like that. But I think once all of the coronavirus, the pandemic subsides, I think I could easily get back in again. I would love to,
I would love to see that too. We're gonna play this little clip, and before we do, please go to Francesco's Instagram. The content, the colors, the vibrancy is incredible. I mean, just Russ. Yeah, Francesco Yates. Get to his Instagram right now. Seriously. Let's go ahead and play that clip.
Right.
I'll never forget the first time we met. I'm like, okay, let's just talk. Tell me what you like. Why do you like that? What is it? Why? What does it matter to you? The way in which they use their words tells me a lot about what they like and who they are.
We've had a mutual understanding. I respect his domain and he respects mine. We understand what it is.
I'll never forget the first time.
How do you feel hearing that again after all this time? But it was just months ago.
Oh, that was. I'm sorry. I don't know if I didn't correct you now, but that was when I was. That was when I was 17 years ago. I mean, it was probably around April of the same month. But yeah, that was quite a while ago. That was when Fran was still a fetus.
Really?
And yep. And I remember. I just remember watching him, watching what he would do on the keyboard, and I studied him and how he did his production approach, and I was making sure I caught everything. I just said to myself when I was in the session, and people were rolling in and rolling out, just make sure you watch everything and see what it was, and really take it in. And it was quite a thing to watch. He doesn't. He just goes. He doesn't really. The way he makes his music is he finds a loop of some piano chord that he created that he likes, and then he just finds a way to build around the 4-bar loop, which I thought was a great way to, you know, do things quickly and have it still be fresh, you know, so that he didn't overthink it. He just found something that he really liked, and he worked off the small thing and turned it into a bigger thing, which is what I do now in my current productions and stuff like that. So I learned a lot. I did learn quite a bit from Pharrell.
Has there anyone else that's been a great role model and mentor to you throughout your journey?
Well, I was lucky enough to get on the opening leg of the American Justin Timberlake Man of the Woods tour in 2018 and in a little bit of 2019. And the conversations I had with Mr. Timberlake were very encouraging. And I always remembered him. We were talking one time in catering, which freaks me out a little bit because, you know, how casual it was. You know, I saw him, you know, growing up on TV with Rock Your Body and Sexy Back, and it was huge, still is huge. And we were talking about Michael Jackson, and we were talking about how he was able to moonwalk, and then that's when Justin said, you got to pay attention to the detail. Look at how Michael Jackson's shoes were worn down so that he could slide easily on the surface that he was on. And what that taught me about Justin's ability to observe everything is that's why he is where he is. That perfectionism and that attention to detail, which is something I carry with myself when I'm looking at how to perform or, you know, writing a song. You have to have that kind of keen attention to detail. Otherwise, you know, it won't be what it could be. And that's what I learned.
I'm impressed. I'm very, very proud of you. To everyone that's listening in, tuning in from all over the world, I want to thank you for joining Francesco Yates here on Live on Air with Stephen Cuoco on Power 98.5. You heard his music. You got to continue to listen to his music. He's always coming out with something fresh and brand new. I guarantee you, go to his Instagram page, Francesco Yates. You will be impressed by the videos. I just saw the 3435. I want to call remake of the Ariana Grande track that you did. You know, second video in. But yeah, I mean, the colors, the purples, the reds, the magentas, like just everything is just vibrant. I can only imagine, Francesco, what your live concerts are going to look like when you get back out on stage again and the performances. And let me tell you, when you watch his videos, you will not be bored. He moves, he interacts, and people pay attention. And that's what I call someone who is a real performer.
Well, thank you very much, sir. And like I said, I appreciate your time and having me on the show. I really do.
Well, we're going to have you back on again. Who would you like to give a shout out to? We'd like to close with some kind testimonials, anything you want to share.
Shout out to my day-to-day manager today, Fernando Watson. It's his birthday today, so happy birthday to Fernando.
Happy birthday,
The Aquarius season is here. Yep.
Anyone else?
And to my dad. It was just it was his birthday not too long ago, so I'll give a shout out to Pops as well.
Shout out to Pops. Where would be the best place, the number one place? Is it Instagram? Is it your website? We got to definitely, I mean, you stay up abreast on Instagram, but what other pages or platforms would you like people to find out more about you and your music?
I would say first to go to my Instagram at Francesco Yates, FrancescoYates, and that's all of my socials are Francesco Yates, so that's where you can best find me.
Are you on TikTok and Triller or any of those?
Yes, those as well.
Okay,
and I'm just trying to figure out TikTok, but yeah, that's those as well.
Oh God, you're going to super excel. I mean, please, you're a performer. And then FrancescoYates.com. I'm on it right now. You have videos. What else do we got going on here? I love the entrance. You've got links to Apple, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. You're everywhere. You've also got a storefront. Let's take a look at that. So new gear. You've got t-shirts. Loving the FY Hotel crop top. Prices are excellent.
Nice.
You've even got some phone cases for Samsung. Where's the... Oh, there's an iPhone. All right, iPhone case. Oh, one with your photo on it. Hotel portrait. Loving it. This is really cool. These are really good. Yeah, I'm loving the photos. Well, is this the merch that you take with you when you would tour? Or?
I think when I tour, I'm gonna design new merch based on like the new projects and things like that. I think that's what I'm gonna do.
I hope to see down the line some jeans, jackets. You've got a lot more. There's some really good phone cases here, t-shirts. Just want to plug that in. I believe it's worth it. Love supporting artists and the merchandise that you guys have to offer. But I believe you got a fashion brand, or hopefully you can collaborate with a designer sometime down the road.
I would love to. The possibilities are endless once the lockdown gets lifted. I'm trying to get ahead of it.
For you, you're not going to have a problem, my friend. Thank you,
Well,
Francesco.
thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for joining us today live on air with Stephen Cuoco on Power 98.5. Thank you to everyone who has tuned in on the iOS and Android app. Alexa, we are now on radio.com. We are on Radio Line, Streama, MyTuner, StreamMitter.com. And every time I say her name, she just lets us know that she's there. So instead of saying, I'm just going to say Amazon, you know who. Francesco, stay on the line. We're going to close out. I appreciate you and thank you for joining us today. And boy, we've got to have a lot more to talk about by bringing you onto the show. And even if you've got no concerts or anything happening, I know you're going to have more topic points about music and writing and the creative experience. So there are people out there that definitely would like to learn from you and find out how you are taking this opportunity and be able to make the best of it, because everyone has a different perspective of what it means to be a writer, a producer, a music artist, and even a performer. So I'm sure that you're doing a lot of great things behind the scenes. It would be really great for you to get some more candid shots or videos, since you're really good at that. Maybe we'll catch you dancing on a dining room table or something. Who knows? Doing a risky business old Tom Cruise thing, sliding in with your socks on.
Amazing. I'm ready for it.
Have a great day, everyone. I hope you're enjoying the weather and you didn't get over 2.5 feet of snow like we did. My God.
Friend us on your socials and let's connect.